Welcome to Senior Happenings. I am your host, Trisha Ayers, and we are talking about smooth transitions. And when we talk about smooth transitions, we're talking about that of downsizing and maybe picking another location. And our experts today are my good friends, Sara Scott and Lizette Bradley. Welcome to the show, ladies.
Thanks, Trish. We're excited to be here.
Oh, I'm so excited for it. I like the shirts.
Thank you. This is their debut.
This is their debut?
The debut.
Perfect.
Yes.
So, smooth transitions. How did that come about first?
Well, that is a loaded question,
Okay.
but in a nutshell, basically, I have a background in long-term care and working with seniors in a few different capacities. Lizette, who just happens to be my best friend as well, now we're business partners, went through a recent transition with her own mother. And, you know, when you sit and talk with your friends about what it is you do for work, you kind of help in different ways. And with Lizette's background in real estate, you know, she's also my realtor. But when it came to her experience with transitioning her mom into Arkansas and going through the Medicaid process and finding a facility that can meet her needs, it was really difficult, and we leaned on each other a lot.
Right.
And so we kind of got our first little lab rat, so to speak. Nothing bad about your mom, but she was like our first test to see, okay, well, how are we going to navigate this? What are the things that she needs? And it was really difficult because she was coming from out of state and figuring out what to bring. What does she need? And managing the financial part of that, but also just the physical part of that. And then there's an emotional component. So we got to work firsthand with each other going through that. And then she's helped me in my personal journey of relocating, moving, and we're a really good team. She was helping, you know, kind of direct traffic and outsource things that I wasn't able to do on my own, or we needed maybe a third party. And so we were able to establish a lot of close community connections, from moving companies to who can haul off this trash, where do I donate my stuff, how do I realize, like, what's going to fit in my new place and what needs to be left behind.
Right.
And so we decided we're pretty good at this. We made it work for her mom. We made it work for me.
Yeah.
And thought, you know, there's a need out there, especially for our seniors who are going through a really difficult, stressful transition.
Right.
Let's start a business and let's help solve this problem.
Right.
So that's how we got started.
That's great.
Yeah.
So, Lizette, you are the realtor part of this. What's your background coming into this? You've been a realtor for a very long time.
I've been a realtor since 2018, but my background is in sales and marketing.
Okay.
Coming from the vendor world and working with top companies such as Disney and Walmart and different companies, I think my sales and marketing background has kind of helped this venture as well.
Absolutely.
And thinking of, you know, who do we need to strategize with? Who do our partners need to be? What do we need to do to get out in the community? But as she mentioned, you know, doing that with my mom, I think we offer a unique perspective, knowing that we left, or I know I lived it firsthand.
Right.
And it's hard. And so I think in her background with seniors, we're empathetic, we're caring, but we also know the job that we need to get done. So hopefully we can make it a little less stressful for them. But my background is in sales and marketing, and I've been a realtor since like 2018.
Great. And do you think, I know dealing with family is a lot more stressful than dealing with general public. What are some of the things, because sometimes it can bring out some very strange emotions, especially when you're giving up your home and you know, you're moving on to a different phase in your life.
Yeah.
Were there any surprises? I don't want you to share too much, but any surprises because it was your own mom?
It was interesting, the things that she was holding on to that maybe she wouldn't bring back, like, again, like she might have some china that she's had forever, but I think it's really sentimental. So instead of, you know, my perspective was, maybe it doesn't come with you, maybe we box it up. We keep it, we just try to give her solutions, not to stress her out and, in compromise.
Right.
So I think it's just kind of step by step. There's certain things that mean a lot to her. I wasn't going to take those away, and I figure out how do we incorporate those into where she's going, but
Right.
not to maybe she doesn't have maybe 50 pictures. Maybe she's got her top 10, or she has a couple of sentimental paintings from her mother. We hang those in her room.
Right.
But we don't need everything from maybe her Pier 1 when she had things like that. So we're just selective on the things that really mean a lot to her. She had dementia. She has long-term memory, short-term memory loss.
Okay.
So things that meant a lot to her from her days, those are the stuff we really honed in on.
Right.
And maybe everything that is materialistic, whatever, we let go of.
Okay.
And then, also to think of, what was safe for her in her room. She can't have certain things. And so that was all very just challenging and interesting to bring
Right.
over.
And I know, Sarah, that you have a nursing home administrator background.
Yes. Yes.
So I know you have seen firsthand when people are moved into nursing, that is not a big space.
No, it is not.
And so how do you go from that challenge of I'm in a 4-bedroom home
Right.
and how do you keep morale up too?
It is really challenging.
Right.
And what ends up happening is each, nursing homes in general, assisted livings in general, and most retirement communities have a list of items suggested to bring with you. And then there's also a list, which I think is more important than the list of things to bring, because you can always take more after mom moves in, or you can always go to the store. But if you go into the facility or the retirement community with items like, a house full of family portraits and only 3 can fit on the walls, then you're stuck
Right.
with potential fall hazards because they're stuck in the floor until somebody comes to pick them up. The resident is upset because they have to part with that. And so knowing on the front end where they are going and what is allowed and what is not allowed is key. And the only way that you're going to know, because every facility is a little bit different, is by communicating with them. And so we are very passionate about trying to make this transition, whether it's from a private large home that they've lived in since 1960 into a care community setting, or maybe it's just a smaller house because they can't maintain that big house anymore. We try really hard to find out what matters most to them and make a plan that they are okay with, to either give away some of the stuff, or auction it off, donate it. There are a lot of options, and until you really go through all the stuff that they have and say, okay, well, what about this? And if she wanted that piano to go to her granddaughter when she dies and she's still living, well, why don't we give that piano to the granddaughter? You can hear her play it yourself.
Right.
And then we're not going to have to worry about where do we put the piano. We're
Right.
not going to have to rent a storage unit, and so finding out what matters to them, helping them part with certain special items with that sentimental value, and then being efficient with what's left is really helpful in that process.
So when you initially meet a client, what happens first? What's the first encounter?
Yeah, so we do, our step one of our service is to meet with the client and do a complete walkthrough of where they're living now and find out where they're going, how big it is, and, are we keeping this house? Do we have to get everything out? And so
Right.
we do a personalized, tailored plan just for them, and then we give them an estimate. It's going to take, so many hours. This is how much we expect for this job to cost you, so there are no surprises.
Right.
Yep.
And typically, if we're wrong about that estimate, well, we've only been wrong a couple of times, and it's been under.
Oh, okay.
So, we'd rather overestimate than under, because when you're a senior, especially on, a fixed income for many, money is very important.
Right,
You know,
absolutely.
so budgeting, knowing, you know, up front what the costs are going to be, and just really transparent about the whole process is what's helped make working with our clients fun and successful.
Absolutely. Oh, working with seniors is fun.
We love it.
Absolutely.
Even the grumpy ones, it's fun.
Even the grumpy ones.
Even the grumpy ones.
Yes.
Here's some great stories.
So there's a list of services that you do. Are there some things that you do not do?
We do not move.
Okay.
We do not move our clients' belongings.
Okay.
We pack them.
Okay.
And we'll put the boxes in a certain area.
Right.
But we don't move them actually to where they're going.
Okay.
That's with a third party.
A third party.
Yeah.
We don't do that. And then there is a list of things that even if you're hiring movers, they can't take. So we have to work with the movers and know what those rules are. Like certain things you can't pack in boxes, lithium batteries,
Okay.
aerosol
Aerosols,
cans, certain chemicals and things like that.
Right.
Yeah, 'cause
I
they're
know.
not safe
I didn't
to
even think
transport.
about
There's
that.
a
They're not
whole
safe.
list. Yeah.
So, Lizette, from your standpoint as a realtor, I know we're talking about smooth transitions and we're talking about senior transitions, but this could be done really for anybody.
Oh,
Yeah?
absolutely.
A family moving in, a family moving out, it could transition to anybody.
Oh yeah, you know, some of our past clients have been tornado victims that have to, you know, pack up their belongings to get their
Right.
home renovated. We have people that are renovating one house and moving into the other house.
Right.
As she mentioned, you know, just moving from one house to another. We've had a couple of different options, and you know, obviously seniors is what we specialize in. But no, we're anybody really needing our services, packing, unpacking, staging their home, or decluttering or anything like that. You know, we're available for our services.
Yeah, we even had a client the other day call and needing help with organizing and thinning out her children's toy room.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Yeah.
so I mean, we really can run the gamut there,
Right.
but we're not just for seniors, but that is where our passion
Right.
lies,
Yes,
and that is who we
Right.
strive to serve.
Yes.
But we are more than happy to serve any age.
Because
Yep.
a lot of our seniors have probably been in their property for quite a few years.
yes.
You accumulate a lot of stuff.
Kids may have been born there, grandkids. I mean, that's a lot of emotion.
Sure.
And you can't be clinical with that.
No, actually, I'm going
No.
through something like that right now. I have a client that their mother passed away a couple of weeks ago, and so they're clearing out the house, and they have plants. And
Lots of plants.
Lots of plants. You know, I happen to be a plant lady. So it was a nice, smooth transition into my house. But what I've been doing is just kind of separating the plants and giving them back to their family to be able to kind of keep it manageable.
Nice.
And then just finding good places for them. I found,
Right.
you know, for them to go to offices and things like that, so they just kind of live on. So, I mean, that's where I feel like I'm a little bit more tailored and a little bit more empathetic.
Right.
You know, I don't know if everybody would do that, but that's just something that, you know, is in my heart to do for them.
And it's important. It really
Absolutely.
is important.
Well, it is, and I think, you know, going back to why we started this business to begin with, we've been very fortunate to be able to pick something that we love. We are really passionate about helping people, and it, you know, transition is kind of a sugar-coated word for change or challenge or, you know, and it can be a negative thing. And so we're not going to take away all the stress, and it's not going to be perfect, but we're going to make it as smooth as it can be.
Right.
And make it a positive
And make it a
experience.
positive experience. We have fun with our clients.
Yes.
We really do.
That's good.
We always have like these furry animals that are our best helpers.
Yeah.
That hide under the paper, a kitty cat, or anything like that that comes out. I mean,
That's a good question, too. How do you get into the pet situation if somebody is going somewhere that doesn't
Yeah.
take pets? That, to me, would be
Well,
very hard.
We have to talk to the client and say, okay, we can't take Jasper to
Right.
the assisted living. He's too big, or they don't allow pets. Do you have someone that you trust that maybe could keep him for you to, you know, you could go visit him sometimes, or they could send you pictures of him? Or do you want us to take that, you know, that decision on? And by that time, when those conversations happen, they already trust us because they know that we actually care, and so they're comfortable most of the time with us making the call, or at least be in the vehicle to get that pet into a new safe home.
So lots of conversation, lots of trust building, that you have their best interest.
Yeah, well, we're
in
going
heart.
through all their stuff.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
it's important for them to feel comfortable around
Yes.
us. And
Yeah.
I mean, everything from underwear drawers to old pictures, and I mean, you name it.
Yeah, all their belongings. They've been there for a long time, and it's just a lot of things that they like to go through.
Yeah. And organization is very key to our process. And so, you know, if we were to come help get you packed up before you make a move, and say you're moving out of state, which we've, you know, come across, then we're going to make sure that whoever is unpacking these boxes, that we pack with care, okay, handle with care. These boxes are clearly labeled, well organized, and so there's no question about where did the rolling pin get put, or where are my casserole dishes, or where's my nightstand contents, you know, because it's all clearly labeled. And I especially take a lot of pride in labeling these boxes and packages, and making sure that everybody knows when they're unpacking what's in that box.
That's good. Care and consideration. I love it.
That's right.
So for those of us who are probably not moving right now, because I think I'll just like walk out the front door and shut it and I move, but
Just be done.
What are some of the things that we need to just get rid of right now when we're going through?
You know, I would think, you know, clothes and things like that are probably the first old coats, things like that. I think the rule is, you know, if you haven't worn it a year or two, you're probably not going to. Either donate it, find somebody that could use it, or, you know, get rid of it. Because you think about that over the years, you're going to have a lot of coats, you're going to have a lot of sweaters, a lot of shoes, and things like that. So I would just start thinning out. You have your favorites, you know, you just start purging now. It doesn't have to be drastic, just start getting rid of things that you know, your old college furniture, you probably don't want that anymore, you know, or mismatched furniture, or things that you just know you're not going to use anymore.
Right.
Go ahead and start to purge and get that push.
Well, and start small too. You know, don't think, oh my gosh, I've got to purge all this stuff that I haven't used in a year or two. No, take the bedroom that nobody ever goes into, or that closet that is just off to the side that you just kind of have to kick stuff in to make the door shut.
Right.
And just work on like one drawer or one area in a room at a time. And that will accumulate, and you'll be really happy when you did. And just a little trick or tip that a friend taught me a few years ago when I was moving is, because I had a ton of clothes and a much smaller closet. And so putting your clothes on the hanger and hanging it in the closet backwards from the way that you normally would put your hangers in the closet. And then once you take that item of clothing out of the closet, you flip the hanger around. So by the end of the year, you know what you've used that year, and what you can at least consider getting rid of. You don't have to get rid of everything, but it's just, a little trick.
So on an average project, from first meeting to, let's say, we're talking about a senior that is downsizing, selling their property, and moving into a community of some kind, how many hours is that?
So a lot of it's going to depend on the square footage of where they're coming from. But typically, we start out, isn't it 1,500 square feet? Takes about, now this is, for somebody who's lived there for a while. 6 to 8 hours to get everything packed up. But usually you want to add 3 to 4 hours to that once you start increasing by like 500 square feet. So like a 2,000 square foot house would probably take roughly 12 hours, 10 to 12 hours to get everything packed up and ready to be moved or sold or hauled off.
And when the move happens, do you then come to the community and help them in their new space?
We do, and it's kind of a la carte, because some of our clients want to be the ones to get their stuff unpacked and
Yeah.
and they want to set it up the way they want to. Other ones are happy to delegate it to us and just kind of tell us where they want their, soup shelf in the pantry or where they want their cleaning supplies. And so, yes, but ideally from A to Z, we're going to pack them up, we're going to unpack them and get them all set up in their new space.
Yes.
And then,
I'm excited.
yeah.
How nice is
And
that?
then it's a smooth transition.
You can do that for me. I'll have
Yeah.
the smooth transition.
Yes,
that's right.
That would be great. A lot of folks who are in our area are transplants and have family that are out of state. I know
Yes.
that can add another dimension to the whole process when, son needs mom to move,
Yeah.
we'll say, and you have to deal with family as well as the client.
Yeah, we're out in the middle of that right now.
Okay.
We have a home that the mom is out of state in Texas,
Okay.
and they have a house, and it's sitting empty, and she's been there a long time. So we're working through that process of going and packing and things that can be donated. Probably working on some type of estate sale to be able to sell, because there's some amazing furniture and some amazing things in the house that might be of value to somebody. And then if not, set up for it to be hauled away. So then I'm able to get it staged and ready to sell. So we're going to be able to hopefully handle that whole process for them because they are out of state. And without somebody like us, it sits empty. And as days go by, it doesn't help the house. It gets in worse condition. So it's exciting to be able to do it from, start to finish.
Oh, absolutely.
So hopefully that's our end result, is be able to go ahead and sell that house and be able to, give that money back for her to be able to live comfortably.
Right.
Where she's at.
Right. That just takes the stress out,
absolutely.
doesn't it? And gives that
Yeah.
contact person to
Yeah.
what's happening in the project and basically you're somewhat social workers too,
Oh, for
I
sure.
think.
That's in my background too.
see?
So, yes,
Yep.
there's very much an emotional component to parting with your personal belongings, but then also leaving your home.
Yeah.
And then, for our clients whose adult children are out of state especially, or maybe they're here, but they've got a career and their own family that they have to tend to. They can't take
Right.
2 or 3 days off to pack mom up. And it's not as efficient when that happens because there are less emotional ties with us. If mom says, I want all of these wreaths donated to I don't know, a craft store or whatever, and the kids are in charge of getting the wreaths to the store, and they see the one that mom made the Christmas of their senior year in high school, and they're like, oh, well, let's just hold on to it. No, mom said all the wreaths need to go, or all
Right.
and so there is a lot of personal care and empathy that we provide, but when it comes down to like some harder things that it's just easier for a professional to do
Right.
versus having your kids come in. Maybe you don't want your kids going through all your stuff either.
Yeah, or like,
There's that.
Or for like this one, we came down, we got everything that is personal to us, we want to keep. Everything else needs to go.
Yeah, the kids have already come and gotten
Yeah, so
what
now
meant
it's just a
something to
matter
them.
of, do we wait for friends to come and help us? Well, you waited 6 months for friends to come and help you, and it gets a burden to them too.
Yeah, it's a
And
big
so for
deal.
us, we go in there and we'll just, start. We have a job to do. We do it start to finish,
Okay.
and it's efficient, and hopefully, we get at the end result.
So somebody sitting at home right now watching this, when is it time to start thinking about transitioning?
Sure. Yesterday.
Yeah.
You should have done it yesterday.
Yeah.
With so many changes and challenges that come with just the aging aspect of life, there need to be plans in place, and at least reach out to us and let us walk through your home with you so that we can ask those questions. You may not even know what questions to ask, or you may not even know that you can only take one recliner and one bedside table into a community apartment. We can help get your brain going to think, okay, these are the questions I need to ask, or maybe I need to call my kids and say, hey, why don't y'all come just go through all of my pictures or go through this room of things that I've set aside and see what you want, because I don't want it, I don't need it anymore. I'm certainly not going to take it with me to wherever I go next. I'm not going anytime soon, but let's just get that part over with.
So do you do free consults?
Yes.
So somebody could go, I'm not thinking of moving right now, but I'd like to know what the process is.
Yeah.
And then I can start thinking about that
Absolutely.
next stage.
And we keep a really good record of what, the dates, the people, the, time that we go and do an initial walkthrough with the clients. So, yeah, if they're not ready to pull the trigger or they don't even have a clue when the move is going to happen, we still keep the estimate and, the special notes of, what pertains to that particular client.
So, talking about smooth transitions, would that service also be available for maybe somebody who's passed and family's out of state and they need the...
Absolutely.
I mean,
yes,
that happens, and
yes.
I can't imagine the emotion then.
If you have a family member that's passed away and you have nobody local to just go into mom's house and figure out, okay, what were the living conditions? How much stuff are we talking about here? We can give you a good idea of what we're looking at as far as how long it's going to take and how much money.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do we get hold of you ladies when I'm ready?
Yes.
Oh, you can go to www.smoothtransitionsnwa.com.
Okay.
We're also on Facebook and Instagram under our name, so
Okay.
we'd love everybody to follow us and give us a like, and please tell all your friends and family that might be in need of our services.
Absolutely.
As we mentioned, it's not just for seniors, it's for everybody that needs our services. We're here to offer them. But
And we have phones too.
yep, go ahead.
Yes.
And Lizette is bilingual.
Yes, thank
if
you for mentioning that.
Yes, if you only speak Spanish or want to speak in Spanish, you can call Lizette.
Okay.
And if you want to speak in English, you can call me or Lizette.
Okay.
So
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great to have that. And
We're easy
you
to
ladies
reach.
are going to be at our Senior Expo
we
coming
are.
up.
This is going to be our first booth.
Yes, to be able to
an
announce to
event,
everybody
so
that
we're
our
really excited.
our business venture is ready to let everybody know.
Absolutely. So you're going to join us at the Senior Expo.
We are
October 3rd.
Absolutely.
Yes.
At St.
Yes.
Bernard Church.
Absolutely.
9:30 to noon to 12:30. Sorry.
9:30 to 12:30.
Remember to bring your door prize.
Oh, yeah.
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 Ladies, thank you
Thank
so
you so
much.
Thank you so much for
I'm
having
so
us.
excited for you.
Thank
It's so
you.
needed. There's these services that link and help people get to
Yeah.
where they need to go. That's just, thank you. Thank you for doing
You're
that.
welcome. We're happy
Yeah,
to.
thank you for having us.
Oh, you're so welcome. And we will see you next month. Thank you so much for joining us at Senior Happenings.